Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to the More Analytics Afternoon Energy Podcast for July 16th going into the 17th. We're going to start off with the natural gas. I'm not going to go over all the higher time frame stuff right now. The trade below 331.40 have brought in 467 ticks coming into the day, and then even more than that down to 282.30. We had additional areas I suggested getting short below at 319.30, 312.30. Also one we're likely in the last stretch of the move down from 442.50 with possible exhaustion at 286.40 to 540. We'd held that a couple times in here and then dropped below it today down to 282.30. We had an area down below here, but we also broke below this formation right here at 287.90 plus 0.5 of a tick per hour, which warrants a decent pressure, but I did not suggest shorting below it. I would suggest getting long if we break back above it, though. That's going to come in at 288.50 as of 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A decent penetration above there is going to be 42 ticks overnight up until the Friday 9 o'clock open. A maintained gap higher tomorrow will leave a minor to medium bullish reversal below, which would be an ideal long, I think. And the crude oil rolled over a bit today, consolidating more. I'm not going to go over all the higher time frame stuff here. The trade back above 67.91. I said warrants a decent strength. We've rallied $13.36. Tuesday also suggested getting long. We rallied 10.55 from the 70.72 open. On the 8th, we left a medium bullish reversal below that I said warrants a higher trade for days/weeks. And we rallied 7.44 from the 73.83 open. And then the trade above 79.09 warrants a continued strength. That was the break above here. We pulled back here and we've just been consolidating above it. Decent trade above this formation right here, which is going to come in at 80.01 minus 2 per hour, starting at 6 o'clock p.m. will warrant of decent strength. If we break above there decently, back down through it decently, look for decent pressure to come in. Decent failure below 79.13 plus 2.3 per hour starting at 6 o'clock p.m. will warrant decent pressure, although I would stop short of suggesting shorting below that. But if we break below there decently and back up through it decently, look for decent short covering to come in. You see a decent penetration down below 77.54 minus 2 per hour starting at 6 o'clock p.m. That'll warrant decent pressure. That decent penetration there is going to be 141 ticks up until the 9 o'clock open on Friday. A maintained gap lower tomorrow would be bearish as well. In the RBOB or unleaded gas, I'm not going to go over all the higher time frame stuff. The trade above 287.06 had brought in 45.72 cents coming into today, and then more than that up to 336.29. Bear with me just a moment. $350. I'm just calculating something real quick. Okay, so something to note here in the RBOB, and we have other multiple places to be long above in here. I did say if we break above 332.10 plus 12 per hour, decently and back below it, decently look for decent pressure. So the RBOB today was the one leading the upside. I did warn that we were likely in the last stretch of the move up from the lows with possible exhaustion between 329.65 and 335.06. I didn't have a sell suggestion against the upper side of it, though. I did have the fade back below here. But we did hold the upper part of this in general at 335.06 with a 336.29 high and rolled over and failed back down through this line, which now warrants of decent pressure. If we trade back above that line decently, that's going to warrant decent strength. That's going to come in at 333.28 plus 12 per hour starting at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Excuse me. A decent penetration in there is going to be 430 ticks up until the 9 o'clock open. A maintained gap lower tomorrow would also be bearish. In the heating oil, I'm not going to go over all the higher time frame stuff. The trade above 320.04 had brought in 87.7 cents of strength, a little bit more than that today with the high of 408.33. I would warn we may be in the last stretch of this move up from the lows with possible exhaustion up here at 413.64, and then multiple different levels of exhaustion here between 418.15 and 426.98. One is a higher time frame exhaustion between 418.15 and 421.93, and the other one's a lower time frame exhaustion from 421.07 to 426.98. Decent penetration below 385.87 will warrant of decent pressure. A maintained gap lower tomorrow would be bearish as well. In the Brent, a maintained gap lower tomorrow would be bearish. I'm not going to go over all the higher time frame stuff here in the Brent. I warned the 69.38 to 67.80 general area was a final area of exhaustion, and we could see a significant bounce from there. We came just shy at that with the 70.14 low and rallied $17.41. A number of other bullish calls in here I won't get into. I did say we would break above 84.79 minus 6 ticks per hour decently, and back below decently look for decent pressure. So we did see the decent break right here. If we see a decent break back below that, I would look for decent pressure overnight. That's going to come in at 84.19 minus 6 per hour starting at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now if we blow up and take out the highs here, if we take this line out, that's going to warrant a decent strength. That's going to come in at 86.90 minus 0.2 of a tick per hour starting at 6 o'clock p.m. 8 o'clock p.m. excuse me. That'll warrant a decent strength, but I would also caution that at the same time we would likely be in the last stretch of the move up from 70.14 with possible exhaustion at 88.69, and more importantly this exhaustion above that at 89.97 to 90.64. If we settle above 90.64, that's a continued sign of strength in general. In the gas oil, the maintained gap lower would be tomorrow would be bearish. In the gas oil, I'm not going to go over all the higher time frame stuff. The break above 896.59 has brought in 286.41 strength coming into today, and a little bit more than that, breaking up here to 1186.25. A number of other bullish calls in here. I would caution that we may be in the last stretch of this move up from the lows with possible exhaustion at 1201.65 and then 1229 to 1245. And the cadence going into tomorrow is the heating oil is the strongest of the three, the crude oil in the middle, and the RBOB the weakest of the three relative to one another, although the RBOB the weakest of the three just by a hair. So a maintained gap lower and the heat crack would be bearish tomorrow as well. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on tomorrow's podcast.